Hi guys, well, I'm back and it is Friday. Friday. I am just super excited with episode 2, season 1 of The Anatomy of Me. So guys, I had did an introductory video talking to you about what I meant by the anatomy of me. So I'm not going to explain it again because I want you to go and watch part 1 if you didn't, to see what I was talking about. Well, I just started to start this series called The Anatomy of Me right here on my YouTube page, and I probably will share it other places as well, but mainly here on YouTube because a couple of individuals have reached out to me personally and was asking me questions about me, about my journey, about how I started my journey, what was going on with me with my journey. So I had to start with telling them how I had to research me, how I had to discover me, how I had to really go all in. A lot of times we're taught to research others' success, see what they did, map it out. But I always say business building begins with you. So that literally means that your success starts with you. Your business success starts with you. Everything about you, your attitude, your makeup, what makes you tick, what makes you cry, what makes you excited, what drives you, what's your why. And your why has always got to be more than something greater than yourself and even your children or family. That just cannot be that. I used to say my why was my children, but when my children got grown and I was an empty nester, the why was no longer there because I accomplished that mission. So there's levels and levels to your why, but as you discover who you are and know your calling and know what you're called to do, now will you know every step? No. You won't know the steps to take all the time because that's why it's faith. Because faith comes by hearing and hearing the word of the Most High. And it is impossible to please Him without faith. And faith is the substance that hope for, but evidence of things not seen, meaning you don't have to see it before you step. But a lot of times He does give us these visions and He does give us the strategies, only we don't recognize them because we haven't worked on us. So in working on you, and you hear people say, I'm doing shadow work, I'm healing, I'm doing this stuff, and that's all fine and good for them to say that, and that's true, whatever it means for them. But nothing in your life will ever be successful or go right until you learn you. You learn you. Learn the anatomy of you. And I'm not talking about your physical anatomy because we know what that physical anatomy is, but I'm talking about the anatomy of your mind, your heart, your actions, and what drives you, like I said, and what makes you tick and what triggers you. Learn those things. Learn what your purpose here on this earth, what you were literally called and made to do. Not what someone else tells you, not what a test will tell you, but what you know. And that thing has been with you your whole life. You've just been unaware that it's been there. So that's what the anatomy of me, and that's how I discovered key things about me, and that's how I knew how to set my business up and set my lifestyle up based on the anatomy of me. See, two lives are never the same. My sister's life is not the same as mine, even though we complement each other and we came from the same parents. It's just not the same because she has her very own unique calling and purpose and destiny, and so do I, just like you. So the tips that I'm giving you is based on things that I did. Now the tips work because they're basic. You have to sit down and meditate about you every single day. And granted, it'll be levels so that you may discover something new about you today because no day is the same as yesterday. I try to do an adventure every day. Yes, I work and I get things done for my business, but I take time out, at least an hour or two, just to do something fun and exciting. The things that I've discovered that I like to do, whether it's going to a painting class, which I'm not a Picasso, but I love to paint. I love to try to paint. I love to paint. My parents are artists. They draw and they paint. So I picked up some things, but not as detailed and not as professional as they are. But I love those things, and I love meeting people, and I love praying with people, and I love looking at art all over any city, wherever I am. So get out and discover what it is. Start out, if you can start out with 30 minutes, fine. But I started out with 2 hours. I took 2 hours. And now sometimes I go up to 3. Now sometimes I take whole days off because I was working, guys, so hard. When my children were little and I was a single parent their whole school life, from kindergarten to high school, I worked. I even drug them to work. I never had any time with my children. I never was able to build a relationship. I'm building one now as they're older, after they got older, yes. But when they were little bitty, I never had the time to build because I was always building something to work, to pay for whatever they needed. That's what I always was doing. So I decided when I had grandchildren that they would get the best part of me, and they do. Sometimes my children are like, well, that's because, I'm sorry that I wasn't there all those years and that I was always working, and drug them to work because I had them working in my business, which that's not a bad thing. I was teaching them responsibility and learning how to work for themselves. But at the same time, I skipped and missed some very key parenting tools. And it's okay now, but it could have been a lot easier for them and for myself had I just took the time and discovered who I was completely and all of that. So enjoy your life. I want you to enjoy your life. Yes, you're building a business or building a career, but stop and smell the roses. Stop and enjoy it. Stop and do the things you like. Stop and spend time with the people that you love and that love you. Now, I'm a firm believer in nurturing those relationships that need to be nurtured or want to be nurtured, because some do not. But the anatomy of you will cause you to really rethink your whole career. Now, I still love what I do, and I know that I'm called to it, and I know that I'm anointed for it. But my view of what I've been called to do changed. And it changes. It's changed all these years. And I'm sure it'll change again, because as you get older and as you mature and the more and more you begin to love yourself and love who you are becoming, things change. So I just want to say, be very diligent in discovering the anatomy of you. And I will see you guys on Monday. I'm going to post here on Monday and Fridays for this. And I'll do a couple of shorts throughout the week, so go check them out. But I want you to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell, because I'm getting ready to gear up some very key things for you guys, and it's just now starting with the anatomy of me. Thank you.